Titus chapter 2, verse 4 through 8. Thus training the younger women to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled and pure, to take good care of their homes and submit to their husbands. In this way, God's message will not be brought into disgrace. I am Jamie Radiance Moorhead, and I am the host of I Wasn't Taught to Be a Wife podcast, and we are back here for another episode, and you guys are going to really...
Me and my husband were newlyweds. We
have been through some things, huh, Amanda? Yes, Amanda Johnson introduced herself, so here we go. Hey everybody, it is me, Jamie Radiance Moorhead, and we are here for I Wasn't Taught to Be a Wife podcast, episode 3, season 4. And today we have the lovely April Nowlin. Hello, April. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on and getting ready to share your amazing testimony. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself to the audience.
Awesome. Thank you so much again for having me on the show. So I'm April Nowlin. I am a certified life breakthrough coach, certified relationship coach, and really my passion is helping people to prepare for and create the love that they deserve.
Oh, wow. I'm excited. So you love, right?
I do. Not in the way that maybe social media or the movies or music may have taught us. But when it comes to just really pure love, yes, I love love.
Oh, I love that. We'll get more into that in a little bit, right? So my first question is, did anyone ever teach you to be a wife?
No.
Really? I feel like when
No.
somebody says, I feel like I'm not alone. Like, I feel like domestication, yeah, maybe like how to cook, how to clean, but what it means to be a wife.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get that either.
No, and I don't think most of us did. I think we, or at least I and a lot of women and men that I know of, when we talk about growing up, the examples, the information that we got, particularly in faith-based communities, I will say it like this. It wasn't necessarily incorrect, but it was very incomplete. And I don't think we were taught how to be wives. We were given maybe this picture of what a wife should look like or should do and all the things, but I don't think we were really taught. So no.
No, I love that. And my next question is, are you currently married or have you ever been married?
Yeah, so I am currently single.
Okay.
I've been single for 7 years now, but I have been married. I've actually been married 3 times, which I'm sure we'll dig into.
Yeah. This is gonna be so good.
Yes. So, but funny enough, I have been single more than I've been married. So in my 48 years of wisdom, I've actually been single longer than I've been married.
Wow. So you said 48. Are you 48?
I am 48. Yep.
Girl,
Soon to be 49.
you look good. Do you hear me?
Thank you.
My God, I would have never thought that at all.
Thank you.
Yeah, so basically I would say this, like the God has really given you some great genes. Okay. It's
you know what? I appreciate that, but I attribute to this is healing. It has been doing the work. It's been a journey of healing. What you're looking at is peace, joy, freedom, all the things that come with just a journey of healing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay. So, all right. So welcome, of course, again. And I would like to ask you to share a little bit about your journey through relationships. So again, you could go as far back as you want to or as most recent, but we're here for your testimony.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I share this journey quite a bit as part of just my story and, talking with the people that I help. But it's still interesting to me. So I hope it's interesting to y'all. But at 41, I woke up to my husband saying that he really never wanted to be married. He never wanted to be a stepfather, and this just wasn't the life that he wanted, essentially. And if anyone's gone through that level of heartbreak, that is traumatizing. But like I mentioned before, it wasn't my first time, it was my third time going through that journey. And so I will take a few steps back because I always get the question of April, like, how did this happen? How did you end up at 41, three times divorced?
Yeah.
So my journey started at 21. That is when I went through my first divorce. And you asked me a question, had anyone ever taught me how to be a wife? Well,
Right.
the thing is, I never even wanted to be a wife.
Come on. Tell the truth.
My perspective has changed now, but when
Yeah.
I got married for all the wrong reasons. Um,
Okay.
which many of my clients, many of people I work with can share this story. And it is because I had this skewed view of marriage and
Right.
what marriage was and why you got married and all the things. So at 21, I was in a courthouse in St. Louis, and my first husband and I were going through a divorce, and we were friends. We were friends who had decided that this just wasn't what God had for us. And I agree, it wasn't.
Wow. Wait,
Yeah.
wait, so when did you get married though? If you got divorced at 21, how old
So,
were you when you married
yeah,
him?
I was almost 20 when I got
Okay.
married. And with that one, we had lived in the same house for about 3 months.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I found out that he was having an affair with his son's mom, and I moved
What?
out. Yeah, and then to
What?
make it even worse is I moved out, he moved in with, like, a new girlfriend, I had a boyfriend, and he and I were, like, creeping around together.
Yeah, still messing around, right? So, like, make it make sense. Like, we what?
Make it make sense, like, "Wait a minute, so you're creeping with your husband?" "Yep,
Because it's so
mhm."
happening. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Praying about it,
yeah.
right? Like, you did it.
Yeah, and I just remember I was living in St. Louis, so I had moved from Arizona. I'm from St. Louis. I moved to Arizona in high school. My dad was in the military, and then after high school, I moved back to St. Louis. So I'm driving down the street in St. Louis, and I clearly hear God say, "If you don't get out of this city, it's going to kill you."
Wow.
And
Principality, like, make
I
the
didn't know if that was a spiritual death or a
yeah.
physical death because it's St. Louis.
A
So
little bit of both, right? It could have been
yes. So I made the decision that I knew that that wasn't God's best for me, filed for
mm,
divorce. And we, at that time, and this was, oh gosh, 2020, 2001, I think,
okay.
um, you had to go to court. And
Yeah.
so we literally went to court, got divorced, and I got on the road the next day and drove to Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I
That was
thought,
obedience. Uh-huh.
I'm good. I'm good. We ended as friends. It didn't affect me. I'm good. Ugh. So far from the truth.
Mm.
Because at 31, Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve, sitting in a courthouse in Arizona with my 6-month-old baby, getting divorced again.
Wait.
hmm
Wait, hold on. 21, 31.
hmm And then the last one was 41.
Wait, no. Okay, so like we don't we there's a
Mhm.
pattern.
There's a pattern. There was this cycle of unhealing that I was walking through,
Mhm.
that what I've learned in doing this work over the last 6, 7 years is that it's not uncommon, right?
No. No.
Um, but when I went to therapy for real at
Mhm.
41,
Mhm.
and the therapist asked me about my childhood, and I remember telling her, like, "This has nothing to do with my childhood. I keep getting divorced." And she's like, "Yeah, tell me about your
Yeah.
childhood."
Right.
Um, and a big part of that was cycles of abandonment, of abuse. My
Mhm.
biological mother was, a drug addict in St. Louis, which is
Mm,
while I was there to take care of her.
right.
Um, And then just, a series of like when you ask the question, what were we taught? You
Mhm.
know, I
Mhm.
was never taught about healthy relationships like most of us, right? You
Yeah.
think about where we got our idea of relationships, TV, our
Yeah.
friends, or the relationships we saw, and we either said, I don't want anything like that, or I'm going to overcompensate and try to make my relationships like that.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, so it was this cycle of trying to fill a void
Mm.
with something that was unhealthy. So that
Right.
void of not feeling loved, that void of abandonment, that void that was caused by abuse as a child, that void, of what I saw relationships as a child. And
Right.
then I would get into these relationships and then I would realize, like, oh man, this is not it. I would get divorced. And then you and I talked about this before the show started. I would have this season of I'm good, I'm
Mm.
content, I'm
Mhm.
happy. But
Yeah.
then that void would creep up. And
Mm.
here I am in another relationship.
To repeat the same cycle.
Repeat the same cycle over
Yeah.
and over and over again.
Oh, sounds about right. Yeah, because like I remember when I was triggered to understand my cycle, right? And it would be the long stretches of being by myself and I'm good, and then I'd be like, ah, but I am kind of lonely, or I don't want to grow so much by myself. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
yeah. So I'm sitting here listening, and I'm like, I just remember the reality of like, girl, you need to go get healed, like for real.
yes, yes.
You
It's
need to go
funny you
get
say
healed.
that because as I think back at these relationships and people ask me like how, right?
Mhm.
And let
Mhm.
me say this is that my story unfortunately is not as uncommon as you would think.
Right.
As I've been doing this work, I have met so many Bible believing, church working folk that have been married 2, 3, 4 times.
Mhm.
Throughout this journey, I've been in ministry for 20 years. I've volunteered. I've been on staff at 2 different churches. I've done all the things. I built homes, I traveled, I had these great careers.
Yeah.
But when you have that emotional void, when you are emotionally unwell,
Mhm.
um, my first marriage, I remember the day he proposed over the phone,
Oh wow.
and I
Over the
remember over the phone. He
You
was
y'all had
10
to lean
years.
in on that one. Wait,
I
what?
know, girl, I know. He was 10 years older than I was. And I just remember him saying, like, I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely. And me being raised the way that I was raised to be a fixer. Remember, I said I had a mother who was an
Yeah.
addict. And so
Yeah.
from a very young age, I was expected to, did you cook for your mom and my little
Yeah.
sister? Did you wake up your mom? So I got conditioned to fix. And so when he said that, it was like, oh, well, I can fix that.
Yeah.
Our relationship can fix that, right?
Yeah. Right.
Not even thinking about what a marriage is supposed to be, what a healthy
Mm.
relationship, it's I can fix that.
Mm.
And then my second marriage, I was on staff at a church here in Arizona, and
Yeah.
I was the pastor and first lady's assistant. And I was like 20, gosh, 20, maybe 25, 26. And people would say things like, well, it doesn't look good for you to be single.
Oh.
Right? In
Oh,
your
wow.
position, it doesn't look good for you to be single. And so it was
I
just
mean,
kinda like,
I could see that because you were assistant to yeah, yes.
right?
Right. Right. Yeah, yeah. That could veer over. Mhm. Okay, go ahead.
Yep,
I'm honed in on this.
yep. And then you get into the, well, why aren't you married yet?
Mhm. Mhm.
You're almost 30, right?
Yeah.
I would hear people, I bought my first home at 25, and but you're not married. but I
Right.
bought a house.
And why is nobody excited? Like, I don't understand it.
Right, but it was really kind of like this, "Okay, that's nice, but, like, when are
You're
you
not
getting married?"
married. Yeah.
And so at the time, my daughter's father was there. We were friends, and it
Mhm.
was kinda like, "Okay." And then the 3rd time, I was a single
Wait,
parent.
so you just married you married
My daughter's father, the 2nd time, so that was my 2nd
yeah,
husband. He was, in the band at the church.
at the church, and so you're just like,
Mhm.
"Okay, let's just" well, we both go
We
to
were
church, we're
friends.
equally yoked, right? Like, it's I'm just saying like, I'm saying this
Woo!
out loud. Huh? Yeah.
Girl, that's
Wait.
a whole nother conversation about equally yoked, right? Because what are we taught? Oh, they're saved, they serve in church, y'all equally yoked. No, no, no. No,
That's
no,
not
no,
how
no, no.
that's not how it works.
We didn't talk about character and core
Yeah.
values and the
Mhm.
vision for our future and our purpose and God's call on our life, right? It
Right.
was you work at the church, he's serving faithfully, must be God.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Seriously, people and that's where you have to look at it says help me. So that means that God the things that God has placed inside of you are gonna help your husband meet whatever God has placed inside of him or whatever the mission is. And so you can't be a help me to everybody though, because your gifts are unique for okay, I'm just, we
Right.
could go.
Right.
Yeah. And so
And you
when people
you said something key, a help to his mission. If he don't have no mission,
what are you helping?
what are you helping?
That's where you get women saying, I feel so unfulfilled in this marriage because you're not his help me. I mean,
No.
and just being honest, like we are designed to be honest completely. We are designed to help the right person though.
Yes. Yes.
What
Yes.
Satan sets us up for is to help everybody and think we could do that and we can't. Like
Yeah.
that's where that,
Going back to
that
I can fix it.
I can
I can
fix it
make it better.
all of it.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is good because then we can go into this next question here.
Yeah.
Um, because what are some of the biggest challenges women face after divorce and heartbreak? So what were some of the challenges you faced? Because I'm here for it. Like your story's so good
Yes.
already. We need to start it.
The biggest thing that women, and I do work with men as well, but the biggest thing that the
Hmm.
biggest issue that people have to walk through, overcome
Yeah.
is a skewed view of our identity.
I
But
agree.
particularly women, because when we get into relationships, we're the ones that tend to morph around our partner,
Yep.
right? So whether that is when we become a wife, a mother, a baby mama, side
Hmm.
piece, whatever that title is, we are the ones that typically will start to shift our identity to fit the role that we need to be in that time and place. And so one of the things that I do with all of my clients, so men or women, but it's particularly challenging with women, is we
Okay.
talk about who are you? And girl, I when I ask people that, when I ask women that, the biggest answer I get is I don't know.
Yeah. Because they don't know.
You don't know. And a
You
big
don't
part of it is you weren't secure in your identity before you got married, especially for people who got married like super young.
Yeah.
So now you've gone through these different phases of life, and now you really don't know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
agree.
so I really start with this journey of self-discovery. And I say this
Mhm.
because this is the same journey I had to take 7 years ago, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
even though, yes, I have gone to school for coaching, I have gone to school for trauma support and relationship coaching. So let me tell you, I spent a whole lot of money on this education.
Right, right.
But a big part of it was the things that I walk my clients through
Mhm.
was exactly what I had to walk through.
Gotcha.
And a big part of that was understanding who am I and not the titles, right? Not
Right.
mom, not wife, not ex wife, not sister, not daughter, But, the word says that God knew us
Mhm.
before we were formed.
Yes.
So
I
going back to God and say, who
Who
did
am
you create me to be?
girl.
That's the biggest thing is our identities. And I feel like that is what Satan tries to attack
Yep.
is our identity. And
Yep.
that is what happened is that each time I got into these relationships, it was like my identity was being chipped away more and more and more. And by the third one, I really didn't know who I was or who I was supposed to be with or none of
Or
that. So when you
anything.
say like taught to be a wife, I wasn't even taught to be April.
Come on now. Yeah,
Now,
because
alone.
you started young. Like, when you look at it,
Mhm.
you were really a kid when
Yeah.
you did it the first time. So, with somebody that was 10 years older than you.
Yeah, I think he was almost 30 when we got married. Funny enough, and he was having a barbecue and I was running to the gas station and one of his friends was like, "Hey, can you pick up some drinks?" And my
Mhm.
husband was like, "Well, she's not 21." so, so no, she cannot. And his friends were like, "Huh? What?"
What? How old is she? Like, what are you
Right.
doing?
Well, I'm like,
Yeah.
No, can't do that." Yeah, yeah, and it's funny, so my parents have been married for I'm 48, 47 years. My parents got
Wait.
married. Yeah, yeah, my dad and my bonus mom who raised me.
Okay, bonus mom. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Yep, they got married when I was 1, and I look back now, right? I
Mhm.
see them 47 years later, but I look back now and my dad was like, I think like 20 and 2021. My mom was like 19 and I look at them and I think to myself, "Man, y'all were babies, right? We were babies making these decisions." Like
Yeah.
that's crazy.
That is
And I have
crazy.
a yeah.
No, go ahead.
I was saying I have a daughter who's 17 and a half, and she is the age that my biological mother had me. And I look at her and I'm like, "There's no way."
That you
Like
could have had a kid. Yeah, yeah.
there's no way.
How are you gonna raise somebody and you can't I had to keep reminding you about doing simple things. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
Yes.
it
So a
it
question I get frequently is like, do I blame my parents, right?
oh,
Because
wow.
and they were babies, y'all. We have to
Yeah.
think about that. Like one thing that has helped me along this journey was that, they didn't do everything right, but I
Right,
had to
right.
remember that they were human.
Yeah.
We have to remember that our parents were human. And my parents did the best that they could with what they knew at
Yeah.
the time.
I agree. I agree. And that's a good question. Like, there are some, I would say, some instances where you're like, okay, that parent did make a choice to be that way.
Mhm.
But then a lot of times you have to look at it and you're like, no, they had no clue. Like, they were really kids. And if we weren't taught, the reason why they didn't teach us is because they weren't taught. So they just had
Come
they
on.
only went by what they saw, right?
Yeah.
Like they or what they saw and was like, I'm not going to do that. So
Yeah.
it's always, I'm going to make sure my life is nothing like that, or I'm going to make sure that my kids never suffer in this capacity. Even though
Yeah.
sometimes that's suffering, just being honest, like I look at my mom, that suffering that made her who she is actually
Mhm.
worked for her. You get what I'm saying? Like, it did
Yeah.
create perseverance. It did make her, to me, amazing and
Mhm.
very resilient. But, but even in her old age, she doesn't know how to sit down. Like, so it's kind of like, huh,
Yeah.
girl? Like, I had to put her in
Yeah.
timeout, and then when I put her in timeout, I leave for a little bit, come back, and she's doing what I told her not to. So that it becomes an addiction to be in that loop,
Yeah.
right? In that cycle.
Yeah.
Um, so you said, okay, so I want to go back just a little bit. You said you got divorced at 41 too, right? Why?
Mhm.
What happened with that one? Because I think I moved on to that question, but what happened? What was
Yeah.
the common denominator that made that one happen?
It goes back to filling a void. I can tell you the moment I decided to marry this man, and we had been dating, mm, maybe like 6 or 7 months we had been dating, and we had been talking about, possibly marriage and, what the future could look like, all the things. And
Mhm.
I was a single parent and
Yeah.
working. I had started my business at that point, so life was busy.
Mhm.
And he had come over after work one day, and I'd made dinner, and I was just real like had a really just hard day. And I
Yeah.
remember him stopping me and saying, what do you need right now? And I
Ooh,
said,
I
"Oh,
like that question, though. I like
woo."
that
I
question.
said, "Man, I just need a break." And he was like, "All right." So I went, took an hour break from, I think I went and like took a bath. I did all the things, right?
Mhm.
And so I come out, and my daughter at the time, who I think was about 5, she
Mhm.
had been fed. They were watching cartoons, like all
Oh,
the things
wow.
had been done. And I thought to myself, this is what I need. So it
Mm.
goes back to, I was filling a void.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily in love with him. I had
Mm,
already seen some things with his character that I knew was like, this might not be
questionable.
it. But it was in that moment that that void was filled that I went, oh, this is it. Like, this is what I need. This is the one. And so, we get married,
Yeah.
and 3.5 years later, I go to take a shower, and he's like, hey, I'm out. I didn't want
What?
this. This is not what I wanted. Now, there were things that led up to that.
Yeah.
It was out of the 3 marriages, here's what I can say. The first 2, I truly just feel like they were broken people, and I was a
Mhm.
broken person marrying an unhealed person.
Right.
The 3rd one, he was very manipulative, extremely manipulative. Excuse me. And so when we got married, it was like all the things that he had done when we were dating completely changed. And I mean, it was like overnight, to the point where I would ask him, I'm like, you can't be the same person I dated. Like this
Mhm.
can't be, you can't be the same person. He started to treat me poorly. He treated my
Yeah.
daughter poorly. By the time we had divorced, we hadn't slept in the same room in
Wow.
8 months.
Oh,
Um, It was bad. It was really, really bad. It was really bad. Now, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. This is the question I get. Like, didn't God tell you? Didn't God say something? Because, as Christians, we got to be like, God must have said something.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
here's the thing. The first time I got married, on the way to my wedding, which was like, it was like 4 people, but on the way to my wedding, God was like, don't do this.
And you did
And I was
anyways.
like, it's okay. It'll be all right, God. It'll be okay. My second marriage,
Okay.
his mom, before we got married, was like, "Look, my son is not ready. Do not marry him." And I was like, "It'll be okay. It'll be all right.
We're fine. We're fine. It's
We're fine. I know the house is burning down around me, but I'm good."
fine.
And so I remember, I live in Arizona, so we spend a lot of time outside when it's not summer.
Mhm.
And I was out walking one day, and I was like, God, I'm mad at you. You could have stopped this. You know what I'm saying? Like all the things, like you could have done something. And I remember like clear as day, God was like,
I
but I
did.
told you not to do it the first 2 times. So what made you think you were gonna listen this time?
Oh, so he just let
and,
you do it
and I
because
was like, you're right, God. You're right. You're right. You're right.
because you would have
You're
been like,
right.
"It's fine. We got it. We're
It's fine.
fine."
It'll be okay. And that was the one that hurt. That was I mean, not let me say, not to say that the others didn't hurt, because divorce is tragic. I'm not saying that.
Right, but
But
you were invested in the last one, right? Would you
yeah,
say
this
that?
was the yeah, yeah. This was the one that, I kind of felt like I did it right, and I did all
Yeah.
the things that the people say to do. And we had
Mhm.
gone to premarital counseling. He had just lied his way through it.
Mm.
And in hindsight being 2020, there were things I saw when we talk about things like he had no mission in life, right?
Right.
He had no vision for his
Mhm.
life.
Right.
But I realize now, 7 years later, that I was filling a void again, and that I still was not healed. And so when you
Mm.
say like what happened, life, right? And I just feel like God was like, okay, you going it's almost like when you tell your kids, like, have you done? You had enough? You had enough?
I get that from God all the time. He's always like, "Are you okay?" I mean, like I sped up the consequences quicker this time so that you can stop playing. What's wrong with
Yes.
you? You know, like I
And
so
that's
I
how I felt. Yep, I felt like God was like, "You done doing it your way now? Are you done?" And I was like,
yeah.
"I'm good. I'm done now."
Yeah,
Like,
no, because I'm gonna be fine for real, like this time, you know.
yeah, it'll be
So
fine.
yeah, we're fine. It's fine.
It'll be great. No
So
problem.
this leads into to this question here. How do you help women rebuild self-esteem and trust after painful relationships? Since we're leading from the third one that you were really invested in, because he actually helped you let your guard down. Like the way
Yes.
that he set it up was, but that sounds very narcissistic, and it
Oh,
sounds very like he was the son of Satan. Like, because when it's
man.
that level of deceit, you get what I'm saying? Like, you let me let my guard down to
Yes.
where I put my trust in you as if you are really a spiritual leader and you were not. And so,
Right. And
so
not
you felt
just
like you
me,
were,
but my kid, my
yeah,
child.
you were kind of laying next to the enemy, like
Oh,
literally.
for real. For real. Who was at the front of praise and worship every Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, just oof, yeah, it was
And
something
that's a
else.
different type of deception, right? Like, because then now you question your entire reality.
Mm,
This
everything.
is the
I
good
when
part.
I say I questioned, you said it right. I literally questioned my reality. I questioned who I was as a person, as a woman, as a mom. I questioned my career. It made me question like every decision I had made up until that point, right?
Mhm, mhm.
But that's why it's important for us to get help after heartbreak. As I started doing this work, one of the things that I was reading, so I am a trauma informed coach,
Okay.
and understanding how trauma affects our physical body, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you hear the saying like they died of a broken heart. That is so true
It's so
because
true.
you can grieve yourself to death. You can grieve yourself into high blood pressure and a stroke and a heart attack and all
Body
the things.
pains, like literally, like all of it. Your hair loss, right? And so,
Yes.
yeah, I'm a cosmetologist, and I have
Okay.
clients sometimes, and we could be flourishing. Hair's flourishing, skin on glow. I'm talking about we're in it, and I don't see them for 6 weeks, and they come back, and I'm like,
What
why is
happened?
your hair coming off in my hand? Like, are y'all
Yep.
broken up? Like, what is going on? And they're like, how do you know? It's your
Stress.
the left. Just
Yes.
that little bit has now, like your hair is telling on you.
Yeah. Yeah. I did. My hair fell out. I gained weight. I was on a bunch of medications. Like it was bad. It was
Yeah.
really bad. It was really bad. And so the question you had just asked, what does that journey look like? Right.
Yeah.
And I will say I work with people who are healing from heartbreak. So that could
Yeah.
be a divorce, that could be someone who's lost their spouse. I work with people to rediscover themselves after that. I work with people who are like me in the sense of I keep finding myself in the same relationships over and over and over again, right? So this doesn't
Yeah.
apply just to a divorce. It's anyone who is experiencing relational heartbreak, but particularly with women. It kind of goes back to what I was saying at the beginning is understanding our identity. So I really challenge my clients to go on a journey of self-discovery. And
Mm,
that could look like literally just writing down a bunch of stuff that might sound fun. That's how I started. And I would
right.
do stuff and I'd be like, oh, that's fun. Then I do something else. I'm like, don't need to do that again. One of the things that surprised me was kayaking. And so I
Oh,
was like, I'm gonna go kayaking. And I loved it. Loved it. Right.
right.
I love the gun range, but I grew up going to the gun range with my dad, but
Okay.
the gun
Okay.
range to me is very relaxing.
Yeah. Oh,
So, but
you.
it's not go ahead.
No, I was gonna say women. I mean, and I know there's a lot of people that don't like guns, but just go to the range. You know what I mean? Like it's that
Yeah.
initial shot and that release. Like I don't think people really understand that if you shoot that gun right, it's a level like you're literally releasing. Like when that bullet
Yes.
goes, oh, the feeling
Yes.
that you get. I'm sorry. Okay,
No,
as you
yeah,
can
I'm
see,
with
I
you.
don't have
I'm with you. But it's not just activities.
Yeah.
but we do the activities to understand who we are, right?
Mhm.
Um, I say it like this, that our goal in healing is not to be ready for a new boo. It is to create a new you.
Ooh, okay, wait, stop right there. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. That was say that one more time before we go though.
Our goal in healing is not to be ready for a new boo. It is to be ready. It is to create a new you.
Okay, we'll be right back, you guys. That's a good place to leave off.
Just love this James butter. It's really good on your hair.
My favorite has got to be the peppermint mist, the leave-in conditioner. It's so soothing to your scalp. I've had dry, itchy scalp, and I tell you, it's amazing.
My favorite product with Jace Butter is the natural flaxseed elixir, especially on the hair that's not mine.
Y'all know what? I really love Jace Butter. I love Jace Butter.
All right, we are back and we are ready to hear where we left off. So, okay, we're new you, right? Like
Yes.
not a new boo, but a new you. What what
Yes.
does that what does that look like? Because some people have heard that the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody else. Like you
Girl,
heard that saying?
I've
Okay,
heard it. I've lived it. And let me tell y'all, that ain't the way to do it.
it's not the way to do it.
You're gonna wake up 10 years now and be like, man, how did I get here?
Again,
But
another person, you know what I'm saying? Same
yes,
cycle.
but we laugh, but that's literally the cycle that I was in, is that when I was initially what I thought was healing, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Is I would hear things like, well, you need to heal so that you can pick a better husband, so that you can
Wow.
be a better wife next time. It was always almost this thought process that we are healing for the next relationship. But during this healing journey, I took a step back and I was like, wait a minute. The most important relationship we can have outside of our relationship with God is
Mhm.
the relationship with ourselves.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until this time, and it was funny enough, it was a life coach that I had. And she's like, April, what do you want for yourself? And I
Yeah.
was like, huh? She's like, let's stop looking at this journey as the destination is a new relationship. The
Yeah.
destination is, what is the life you want to create for yourself? She was
Mhm.
the first person that ever asked me that. And I was like, I
I
don't even
don't
know.
know.
I don't know.
What
And
are you
so,
talking about, ma'am?
what do you mean? Just for me? Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean? So that goes back to your original question about being taught to be a wife. Like, we weren't even taught to just be ourselves. Like,
Come on
what does
now.
that even look like? You know? And
Yeah.
so that is what that journey is. It is getting with God to
Mhm.
understand, first of all, God, who do you say I am?
Yeah.
Right. And that's a tough pill to swallow sometimes, because a lot of the women that I work with are in their 40s or 50s. So we've had some journeys, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so really understanding like who God says we are, that we are loved, that we are worthy, that we are
Mhm.
redeemed. Like, what does that actually mean? Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then literally understanding, what do you like? One of the movies that I like is called the Runaway Bride
Yeah.
with Julia Roberts, right?
Yes,
And
I
it's, if you
love
haven't
her.
watched it, she keeps getting engaged, but like she never goes through with the
Right.
wedding. She always takes off. And so towards the end, she's like trying all these different eggs. And someone's like, why are you why are you trying all these eggs? And she's like, every relationship that I've been in, I've
Hey.
just liked the eggs that they liked. Right.
Yeah.
They like
Yeah.
scrambled eggs. I like scrambled eggs. So she's like, I don't even know what eggs I like. So that's the question. Ask, do you even know what eggs you like? Right?
Right. And
What do
how
you
you
like
like
to do?
them.
And how do you like them? Right? If we do not understand ourselves, if we do not love ourselves, how in the world are we going to tell someone else how to love us?
I mean,
And
that's a great question.
how? The word says to love others as you would want to be loved, treat
Right.
others as you would want to be treated. How can you tell someone how to love you if you don't know how you
You like
need to be loved? If you don't know the crazy things about you, if you don't know that you like to travel, if you don't
Yeah.
know that you're an entrepreneur, like how can you expect someone else to fully love you? And for me, it is this journey of self love, right?
Right.
It is saying, okay, I've been divorced 3 times, but I still love myself and I'm still
Yeah.
worthy of love, right? It
Right.
is being accountable for our actions and
Yeah.
saying, yeah, those 3 marriages, I had something to do with that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is understanding and accepting our flaws. It is seeing us how God sees us, right? That
Mhm.
is those journeys of self-love. So that's what healing looks like.
Right.
It's self-love.
Yeah, it is. So looking, this is good because it leads into this. Looking back on your marriages, what lessons, and you could give one that stand it out when you were going through that process of discovering yourself and self-love. What lesson, and you said it throughout, but I think you said it throughout. I might be wrong. It might be something completely different than what I was hearing
Mhm.
when you were talking. So there you go.
Yeah, yeah. The biggest lesson I've learned is understanding my identity and being able to stand in that.
Gotcha.
And so that's I mean, I know it sounds like it sounds like so over simplified, right? Like there should be 82
Yeah.
steps and
No,
but
no,
when
no.
we truly know who we are in Christ, who God has created us to be, that is the lesson. That is when we set healthy boundaries.
Right.
That is when we walk away from unhealthy relationships, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, right.
that
So
that's it.
right, so then that does link to I had a void, and that's what, because once you do realize your identity, the void is not there anymore.
Right. Right. Or it's not necessarily not there, but you
Okay.
learn healthy ways to fill it. So for example,
Mm-hmm.
in that situation, going back to that moment where I was like, this is it. What I needed was a babysitter. What I needed was help with my kid. I didn't need a husband. That's not
No.
what I needed. I
Yeah.
needed self-care and I needed
Mm,
moments of relaxation and I
yeah.
needed to ask for help maybe from my family. You know what I'm saying? These are things that I needed. I didn't need a husband.
Yes.
And so understanding where different voids come from, right? So
Yeah.
I love documentaries, and I've watched 3 this year
Okay.
about these high powered executive women
Mhm.
who all 3 got involved with inmates in some way. One
What?
lady lost her life, the other 2 are in prison, right? One lady was a black doctor in South Africa, like a doctor. I'm talking about like real doctor, not play doctor, like went to school, doctor, got involved with this inmate in prison, right? Another lady, she worked in the prison system, got involved with an inmate. They escaped. He got shot by the cops. She killed herself. Like, how, right? You act like, how? How does this happen? Well, it happens when one, you don't know who you are, and two, you're trying to fill a void. And I think about things like, especially for women, if we weren't told things like, you're beautiful, right?
Mhm.
The first person that comes along and says, you're beautiful, what do we do? This
Oh
must be
my
love.
god.
This must be
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
right?
Right,
Because
right.
we haven't had that. Or if we've been in relationships. So on my podcast, I do have quite a few women who are sharing kind of their stories of their marriages, and then many of them have found love again. But one
Okay.
of the common threads that we see is coming out of that marriage, we're
Mhm.
looking for the things we didn't get in that marriage, right? So
Okay.
if my husband never listened to me, the first man that seemingly listens, this is
It's
it.
who you're gonna pick.
This is
Yeah.
it, right?
Right. Mhm.
And so we all have voids somewhere. We all have these areas that
Mhm.
something is missing. The question is, what are we filling them with? Are we filling it with God? Are we filling it with healthy relationships? And once again, that's relationships with ourselves, with other people. Are we in
Right.
community? Um, Loneliness, that's another one that trips up most of us.
Mhm.
And loneliness is not a bad thing. Like we hear lonely and it's like, I'm not lonely. I can't. We all get lonely.
Yeah,
We get
we all get
lonely.
lonely. Yes. I think it's the I feel like people are just in denial about things, and they just don't want, because I would say society makes it a stigma. If you're not married by a certain time, like we were talking about earlier,
Mhm.
and you're not in a relationship, then you're not valuable. Or so to
Yep.
say that you're lonely, the first thing initially when you talk to certain people is a negative connotation that comes with that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if you had a man, you wouldn't be lonely, or if you would stop picking the people that you pick, you wouldn't be single. So it would go back to being single, and people
Yeah.
automatically think like, I've seen so many people be in a relationship and be lonely.
Oh, girl, the loneliest people I know are married people.
Come
And
on.
I used to be one of them. The loneliest people that I know are married people. And that is why God told Adam, it is not good for man to be alone. But let me be clear and hear me when I say this. God was not talking about marriage. Now,
Mm,
marriage is a part of not being alone. But what I believe that God was saying was Adam needed companionship.
yeah.
And so many times we'll hear that scripture, well, if I'm lonely, I must need to get married. Go join a group, go get
Yeah.
a hobby, be around other people, right? Loneliness is not cured by romantic relationships. It is cured by community, by
Right.
companionship, right?
Fact.
And so, but society has told us if you're lonely, you need to be married. No. And if you because if you don't know how to manage loneliness, you probably shouldn't be in a relationship because you're going to be picking for all the wrong reasons.
Right. Right. Everything that you want in that moment, but then that person can't keep it up. And the
Yes.
reason why they're even doing it is because you talk so much that you told them the blueprint on how
Yep.
to okay.
Yep.
And
You just hit the nail on the head, right?
yeah.
And so loneliness isn't a it is a natural emotion and God knew that we would feel that, which is why he said that about Adam in the beginning.
Mhm.
And so he was already telling us that the cure for loneliness is community, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember this was like a year after my last divorce. And I was laying in my bed and I was like, God, I'm so lonely. And I was
Mhm.
crying. Like, I was like, God, like, this sucks, right? This sucks. And in that moment, God was like, hey, which do you want? Do you want this temporary moment of loneliness that you can push through? Go get you some ice cream, go cry, whatever you need.
Mhm.
Or do you want the permanent feeling of loneliness that you felt in that last marriage? And I was
Mm.
like, I will take ice cream for 200, God. Right?
Sometimes he gotta remind you because
Right.
you forget like how bad it was in that situation.
Yes. Yes. And so if you need to cry, cry yourself to sleep. You'll be okay in the morning. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Like you're
Just
gonna make it. It's
you're right,
okay.
and you'll be fine. You will be
Right.
fine, I
You're gonna
promise.
be fine. So
And this
yeah.
leads right into this. It says, "How do you encourage women to trust themselves and their judgment in love after trauma?" Because you could have, if you want to hearken to the voice of the Holy Spirit, you could have picked up the phone, you know,
Mhm.
and made, or send a little text like, "Hey, what are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? And that could have opened the door to re-enter the madness, right?
Yes.
Um, because of trauma,
Yeah.
right? So then how
Yeah.
do you in these how do you encourage them? What does that look like to be encouraged to actually trust You
Yeah.
trusted. You like, I'll take that ice cream. I'm gonna be okay. I'll just take that ice cream tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. And let me say this, I don't get it right all the time, but there's two things that I have learned on this journey, particularly if you're someone who has been in a cycle of unhealthy relationships and you're like, how can I trust myself?
Yeah.
One, get community. So that's first and foremost.
Yes.
To this day, at 48 and a half, if I meet someone, I still have a small group of women that I am accountable to.
Okay.
And I have given them permission to say, wait a minute, April, I'm seeing some patterns here. I'm
Oh,
seeing some behaviors here. Or if I say, well, they'll tell me about them and I tell them and they're like, I didn't hear no mission. I didn't hear no vision. Right.
ah, yeah. Wise
Right.
counsel, right? But
Right.
yeah,
Wise counsel. And so sometimes we get to this space, particularly as women and women of color. I can do it. I can do it by myself. I don't need nobody. Yes, you do.
right.
Stop.
Yeah,
And
no, we do.
so there, one, have community around you. And
Right.
then two, trust yourself with the little things, right? With
Hmm.
those small decisions. And trust, did I listen to myself in this decision? And it's not just with relationships, it's with parenting, it's with my career. It is
Yeah.
learning to trust the voice of the Holy Spirit and have
Mm.
those moments where I'm like, and it's simple stuff, right? God, should I do this?
Yeah.
Yes or no? God, should I go here? Yes or no? One of the things that I teach my daughter, because she'll be off to college next year, and I've taught her this from a small child, right?
Hmm.
Listen to that voice inside your head. Listen to that weird feeling in your stomach. If you're out with your friends and something just don't feel right,
Yeah.
listen to that. And I
Go with.
tell you, almost every unhealthy relationship that I've been in, and most people I know, you'll have that, man, there was
Girl.
something that just didn't feel right, right?
Girl.
And so
Yeah.
we have to start listening to that, even if we don't know the answer, even if we don't know what that is in the moment. And the more we start listening to the small things,
Mhm.
God will start trusting us with the big things, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
Boundaries, setting healthy boundaries with yourself and with others. The hard thing about boundaries is not setting the boundary, it's upholding the boundary, because
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, when you uphold a boundary, that's
Hmm.
gonna hurt you too. And what
Oh
I
yeah.
mean by that is, let's say I meet a great guy and I'm like, yes, I'm feeling him, he's feeling me, and God says no. Or he does something and I know deep down inside, this doesn't align with my core values. This doesn't
Yeah.
align with the person I think I am. I got a choice to make. I can say, this ain't it.
Right.
Or I can say, well, I'll just hang out with him till I meet someone else, or,
I've done
and then
that.
you end up married with kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And then be like, I don't know how this happened. How does it?
Girl,
We were just hanging out, and then we got
I don't
married.
know how this happened when I should have, after that first date, been like, goodbye. Don't need
Yeah.
to talk to you. Don't. But once again, that now leaves us lonely by
Mhm.
ourselves back. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
that's where it gets hard. But that's what you have community for. Right?
Right.
We don't have to do this alone. That's why you have a coach. That's why you
Right.
have a therapist. That's why you have this core team around you. And
Mhm.
so same thing. And that's just for relationship with my business. I have a community with business so that I don't go out making stupid business decisions. Like I
Right.
have a group of ladies I can text and they'll be like, don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
no,
They don't even sound wise. Like this is
right.
not. Yeah.
That
Like
ain't
we're
it.
not doing
Move on.
that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I agree.
trusting ourselves is getting around people that will love us, that will tell us the truth. That's the other thing. Don't get a bunch of yes people around you because y'all
Right.
gonna yes yourselves off a cliff together.
Come on.
Get
You
those
go into
people
that
that,
ditch. The blind leading the blind.
yes, get those people that be like, hey, I thought you said this is what you wanted. And I thought this is what God told you, right? Get those people that are gonna confront you in those weak moments until you go sit down somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, because you're doing too much. Like, what
You're
are you
doing too
doing?
much.
You're not even staying on your own mission, ma'am. Like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
I love friends like that where I'm like, okay, so what you're saying is that I need to go back over here and be patient and be
Yeah.
still. Yeah,
Yeah.
you already put the yeah. I love that. So you
Yeah.
talk about community though. Before I agree, like we wrap up. Explain to people how they could become a part of your community because, again, you're touching on people like this is everyday life for people. Like I just got finished looking at before coming on here with you, in the world, Candy is getting a divorce. But
Yeah.
then like when you look at like clips from their podcast or thing like that, like he was clearly stating on different occasions in different ways that he didn't respect her or he didn't even like her.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
people are now that this is happening, people are able to analyze these videos. And I'm like, but this is everyday life. Some people are waking up right now or they're going to sleep right now to somebody that cannot stand
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I'll say is just we have to remember, and I'm glad you brought that couple up specifically because I've seen in the news, seen on social media, is that number one, we have to remember that social media is the highlights, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It is the highlights. It's those pretty moments. It is, I tell you, if you looked back over my social media when I was married, you would have thought we were the happiest couple in the world, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But when you connect with me, whether that's on social media, YouTube, as a coach, one of the things you're going to get is the truth, right?
Right.
I tell real story, just like I told my truth today. I don't talk about being married and divorced 3 times as a badge of honor.
Right.
Um, I never wanted to talk about it. Let's keep it real. God
Okay.
was the one in 2019 that was like, you need to tell your story. And I was like, no, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah. Like
Don't
who
nobody
wants
need
to
to
do
know.
that? What are we doing?
Um,
2019 was when the red pill community was being created too, and you would definitely be a case study. You get what I'm saying?
yes, yes, yes.
God, why
So
you put me
yeah,
out here with these wolves like that?
yes, yes. So being part of my community, like I say, you get the truth, you
Right.
get hope. My podcast, When Love Comes, it's people like me telling real stories. And
Right.
the reason why I started this journey is because I don't want someone to be me. I
Mm,
want someone to hear this, whether you are never been married, been divorced 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, to know that like there is healing, there is hope, there is a God-given great future that you can have. Now, let me say this, it takes work. What
mm,
you're looking at, this is work. This is crying, this is therapy, this is tears, this is, loneliness, this is seeking God, this is prayer, this is all this is doing the work. But my community, what you get is the truth, and it's the truth. It's God's truth, it's my truth. It is tools to help you heal, tools to help you to create a great life by
yeah.
yourself as a single person, and then also tools, because I work with couples too, to create the love and relationship, like I said before, that you deserve.
Yeah. I think you're going to have a lot of work in the kingdom. No,
Yeah,
I'm not laughing at anybody. I'm just laughing about how prevalent and how severe the problem is,
it
to be
is.
completely honest. It's not a small issue. It is a very, very big issue in our
Yeah,
community in the kingdom. And so I'm just thankful for God raising up people to help in this mission work, because it's a lot of men and women that
yeah,
are struggling,
yeah.
and they don't get wise counsel, and so they're just out here wandering around doing it over and over again and
Yeah.
asking God why, and God's like, I had nothing to do with that. Like I keep telling you to stop, and you just don't. Why aren't you listening to me? Like,
Girl. Girl, I imagine God sometimes when he's looking at a wedding and we're like, let no man put asunder what God has put together. And God is like, that ain't me. I
I
ain't do
didn't put
that.
it
Don't
together.
blame that on me.
I
Those
have
two are
nothing
not
to do
me.
with that. Yeah, I have nothing to do with that
Nothing to
marriage.
do with that.
Could you imagine? Like, he just be out there like,
I know
Here we go
he's like, oh
again.
my, not again, not
Here we go
again.
again. And then I'm gonna have to send somebody to correct them, and they
Yeah,
not gonna listen to that person. Like, so what are we doing here? Then
what
it's
are
gonna be
we
5 years
doing?
later. She's gonna have a baby, and I'm gonna have to shut the whole marriage down.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I tell people, go to counseling early. Go to counseling for yourself. If you're in a new relationship, the moment y'all be like, "This is it," come see me. Let's talk.
Right, right. So I think you already you said it before I got to put it up. Any final words of encouragement? You already like got in, you're like, go get the help. Like, no, but if you
Yes.
had any other words of encouragement for women when they step into the love they deserve, like what does that look like?
Yeah.
Speak to them and then go ahead and tell them like your website or your social media handles and then yeah. This was
Awesome.
good. I feel like you have so much more story though that I need.
Oh man, I got some stories.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we didn't get like to the because when you put yourself and this is and then you can answer when you end up in these situations, like from my past, they're either verbally abusive or physically abusive,
And that's a
right?
oh
And it's like the verbal abuse is like, and then there's silent treatments come too. So it's a two,
yeah.
and we didn't get to go into that because that would
Yeah.
take a whole nother hour.
Whole nother segment. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to end the I would love to have you on just to talk about the different levels of abuse and how it does desensitize you from even trusting God's voice.
Yeah. 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 So
Okay.
to answer your question, I like to end with two words of encouragement. One is to give yourself grace. We are so hard on ourselves. I remember waking up in the middle of my third divorce and I was just depressed and beaten down and all the emotions, and I just remember God saying like, "But I still love you. But I still love you.
What does he do?
But I still love you." And so give yourself some grace. Like we said at the beginning, no one taught us how to do this. No
Hmm.
one taught us how to do healthy relationships. No one taught us how, in most cases, now there's a few of them out here, but in most cases, how to love ourselves, how to
Yeah.
receive love. And so just remember that God still loves you. He knows all your dirt, all the things, and He still chooses to love you.
Yeah.
And then I truly believe this, that everybody deserves a great love story. Now, that doesn't mean a love story with another person always. That may not be your desire, but you deserve your own love story. And that starts with the love story of yourself. So,
Wow.
how to connect with me. If you want to connect, whether it's through coaching, the podcast, speaking, you can find me at aprilnowlin.com. It's my name on all platforms. The When Love Comes podcast, check that out. It's
Yeah.
really just a place of people like myself that are telling our stories of healing after heartbreak. Some of us finding love again, some of us just really enjoying our single life with God. But connect with me on Instagram, on Facebook, YouTube, and my website. You can find a ton of free resources there. I have ebooks, I have videos, all the things just to get you started on your journey.
Awesome. I want to thank you again for taking the time out to give your testimony on I Wasn't Taught to Be a Wife podcast because one, you said yes, but this is a great, great testimony. And what I do love is how God has given you the mission for the solution. So we're not just talking about it, there's actually a solution to the issue, right?
Yeah,
And he made and although like this the what do you call it? Like the test that happened and even with the failures in that test, it was still a part of your mission, right? So
yeah,
it's still a part of your testimony and it
yeah,
had to happen because God creates our steps. Even when
yeah,
we step out, he still works all things together for our good, right? So this is
yep,
it's phenomenal. Who would have thought that it would be so many women's story though? Like who
yeah.
would so you're going through it and the enemy likes to make you feel shame and
Hmm.
he wants you to feel that shame so that you can never speak to help anybody else
Yeah.
come up out of that. So I just wanted to say thank you for taking that mission on.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, seriously, I think sometimes we have to give each other flowers because it's not easy.
No.
It's not.
Let me tell y'all, it's not, but I appreciate platforms like this. I wish I had a platform like this 25 years ago. I do, right? I wish that after, even before that
Mhm.
first marriage, I wish I had someone talking about self love and someone that looked like me. That's the
Yeah,
thing, right? Someone who
right.
looked like me, who sounded like me, who understood my journey. I wish I had that 25 years ago, but I'm so grateful for platforms like this that women and men can find those resources and hopefully just create a different narrative for their life.
Come on. And workers like you that are actually helping them create that new room. I just want to throw, because you got to have people. Again, you're right about community because you can be so down. And if you don't have somebody that has taken the time to get to know you and say they're not acting right, something isn't right,
Yeah.
you know? When I was in my pit, I had a little old lady and I didn't notice that she paid attention to me that way. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Um, but I'll never forget, I was like in that day and I was like, losing my absolute mind and I couldn't come out of it. And I get a message from her. She goes, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but you need to get up. Get up now.
Mm.
Like, I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? She's like, don't talk back. Get up.
She like, look, stop asking questions. Just and sometimes, you know what? Sometimes it be like that. I feel like sometimes God is like, I need you to move, and I need you to move now. Like,
Yeah.
stop asking questions. Like, I need you to move. I need because like I said, when God told me to leave St. Louis, and He was like, this city is going to kill you. I
Mm,
didn't know if it was physical
right.
or spiritual. But I knew when I heard that, I was like, I'm up. And
Yeah.
I now, 25 years later, I completely understand. But in that moment, sometimes God be like, you just got to move. You just got to
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
So,
And I did. I got it. And I didn't, in my mind, I was like, how does she know I'm laying down? Like, how does she know I'm in this dark room crying like this?
see, you asking too many questions. God just told you to get up.
Yeah. Get up. Girl, how'd you know? I'm thankful for that woman. I promise
Mhm.
you, because if she went had she actually told me to get up 3 times. I felt like I was dry bones, and she was speaking life back into
Come
me,
on
right?
now.
And I was like, if that woman wouldn't have done that, only God knows what would have happened. Like
Yeah.
seriously,
Yeah.
because I had never been in that space before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, thank you again. I would love to have you back. I think we should just do a live, but I'll talk to
Yeah.
you about it. Yeah, like where we're gonna go, and we have people come and ask questions. And I never. I'll don't leave. Okay, don't go away. I'm gonna close though. Okay. Well, you guys, that is episode 3. You saw it, you heard it. Share this testimony with a friend, a family member, or somebody that you know personally that could be going through a similar situation. We have a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of divorces, a lot of relationships, and there's a lot of trauma happening. And people feel alone, but they don't have to be alone because we have people that God has sent for such a time as this, right? So I'm going to put her information or her name back up there. You can follow her on all platforms. All her information will be in the description. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe, not to just to this platform, but to hers as well. And we just thank you for tuning in. And you guys have a great morning, evening, afternoon, night, whatever time it is and where you're located. Just enjoy it. In Jesus' name. Goodbye.